that why does Islam slaughter the animal so ruthlessly? You know, you slaughter the neck and you let the animal writher and die in pain. Why does Islam kill the animal so ruthlessly? So once there was a discussion going on between the Muslim and the Sikh. The Sikh are people mainly living in India, they wear a turban. And while they were having a discussion, that Sikh was objecting to the Muslim. That why do you kill the animal so ruthlessly, in pain? One jhatka, one shot, kill it. So our Muslim brother replied, you Sikhs, you are coward, you attack from behind the animal. We are mard ka bachcha, we are macho, we attack from the front. Anyway, this was battle of wits, this is not the reason. The Muslim, whatever he thought, battle of wits, that you are coward, when you give one jhatka, you attack from behind, the animal can't see you attacking. We are macho, mard ka bachcha. We are macho, we attack from the front. This was his logic, though it's not correct logic. Let us analyze today that is the Islamic system of slaughtering, Zabiha, correct or not? In Islam, it's called as Zabiha. Zakaitum, coming from the root word Zaka, means to purify. And Islam, when we do Zabiha, when we slaughter, there are some Islamic points to be noted. When we slaughter an animal, you should not slaughter in front of another animal. It is as though you're killing him twice. Point number one. When you slaughter an animal, you should not slaughter that animal in front of another animal, because when the animal sees his colleague, his friend being slaughtered, it is as though you're killing him twice. There are many rules, regulations, I'll just mention the main. Number two, the knife which you use for slaughtering should be sharp, so that it is a swift cut and least pain takes place. Number three, when you cut the throat, the windpipe and the vessels of the neck without damaging the spinal cord. When you cut the throat, the windpipe and the vessels of the neck, you should not damage the spinal cord. Therefore, cutting from behind is not permitted. Spinal cord is damaged. The reason is when you damage the spinal cord, there is cardiac arrest and the heart immediately stops. When we cut the throat, the windpipe and the vessels of the neck, the heart is yet pumping and the blood flows out of the body. Within few minutes, the heart is continuously pumping and the blood flows out of the body. The reason in Islam we are supposed to let the blood flow out of the body is because blood is a good media of germs, bacteria and toxins which contain a lot of diseases. So we let the blood flow out so that when we eat the meat, we do not have chances of having the diseases. It's a scientific method. The blood flows out. And even the meat or the chicken slaughtered by the Zabiha method, it stays fresh for a longer time. Because the meat, the mutton, the beef, the chicken that is slaughtered by the Islamic method, the blood flows out and the meat, the mutton, the chicken remains fresh for a longer time. All scientific. And many people have a misconception that when in Islam we do Zabiha, when we slaughter, the animal writhers and kicks because of pain. No. When we slaughter and when we cut the throat, the windpipe and the vessels of the neck, we also cut the nerve that goes to the brain, which is responsible for feeling of pain. So when we sever the nerve going to the brain responsible for feeling of pain, the animal does not feel pain. It's a humane method of cleaning. The animal writhers and kicks. Why? Because of lack of blood in the muscle is contracting and relaxing to get more blood. So when it is contracting and relaxing, it is writhing. It is kicking. It is not kicking because of pain. It is trying because the blood is flowing out. It's trying to pump. So the muscles contract and relax. The animal kicks and writhers, not because of pain, because of the blood flowing out of the body. So Islamic method is the most humane method. When we give a jhatka, or when we have electrocution, or the stunning method, many a time the animal does not die and dies a painful death. Sometimes painless, sometimes painful. In the Islamic method, it is always the best humane method of killing with the least pain. So just because we are seeing the animal kicking and writhing, we think it is dying of pain. No, it is a peaceful death. That's the reason the Islamic method of killing the animal is the best for the animal and best for others. When we do, we say, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. That in the name of Allah, who is the greatest. We are cutting the animal, killing the animal in the name of Allah with His permission so that we can eat it. It is the best and the most humane method of slaughtering the animal. The 12th most common misconception regarding Islam amongst the non-Muslims is, the non-Muslims say, you Muslims? You know, today science tells us what you eat has an effect on your behavior. You eat animals and you behave like animals, violent. I say, I agree with you. I know there is a research. What you eat has an effect on your behavior, there is a research. That's the reason we Muslims, we never eat the carnivorous, ferocious animal like lion, tiger, leopard, because we don't want to be ferocious and violent. We eat the herbivorous animal like cow, goat, sheep, which are peace-loving animals because we Muslims want to be peaceful. So if you agree with the research, what you eat has an effect on your behavior, we eat only peaceful animals, the herbivorous animal like cow, goat, sheep, because we are peace-loving. We are not allowed to eat the ferocious animal like lion, tiger, leopard, wolf, because we don't want to be ferocious. And Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Araf, chapter number 7, verse number 157, they followed the unlettered prophet. And he commands them what is just and pure, and prohibits them that which is evil and impure. He allows them to have that which is good and pure and just, and prevents them from having that which is evil, bad and impure. And there are various hadith which tell us what type of animals we cannot have. We already, one of them mentioned in the Quran clearly. In Surah Ma'idah chapter 5 verse number 3 is pork, which we shall discuss later on. But there are various hadiths of the Prophet which tells us what kind of animals we cannot eat. Our beloved Prophet said, it's mentioned in Sahih Bukhari, volume number 5, hadith number 4994, as well as Ibn Majah, hadith number 3248, 3249 and 3250. And there are many other Sahih hadith which tell what the Prophet has prohibited. The Prophet said, you cannot eat these categories of animal, the carnivorous animals belonging to the cat family, like the lion, the tiger, the leopard, the cheetah, the cat, the dog, the wolves. All these carnivorous animals, any carnivorous animal you cannot eat. Any carnivorous animal you cannot eat. Number 2, you cannot have rodents like the mice, the rat, rabbits with claws. You cannot have alligators like snake, alligators, etc. And you cannot have birds of prey which have claws and talons, like owl, crow, vulture, eagle. All these types of animals are prohibited for you to have.